Welcome to yet another beautiful and resonating episode of The Human Weave Breaking Stereotypes Season 2. This is the space where stories shatter stereotypes and voice ignite change, where we meet those who don't just follow tradition, they redefine it, who carve their own path and in doing so, becoming guiding stars for others who dare to follow.
Today's conversation moves with rhythm, resistance, and a deep sense of purpose because this episode enters a world where grace meets grit. We are stepping into the realm of Indian classical dance, a sacred space of divinity, discipline, and storytelling. But behind its elegance lies a quieter tension of who gets to belong, who must fight for acceptance, and who commands the stage without question.
We are joined by Dr. Arkadev Bhattacharya, a force in Indian classic dance who has dedicated over 37 years to Bharatanatyam and the Udarshankar style of dance. He's just not a performer, he's a pioneer, the first Bengali male Bharatanatyam dancer from Kolkata to break into national and global stages.
Dr. Bhattacharya is a teacher, mental health guide, researcher, choreographer, and the founder and artistic director of Niharika Center of Performing Arts, now in its 30th year. He's faced stereotypes head on and still chooses grace, power, and compassion every single day he steps onto stage or into a classroom. He has learned his art under great names in Indian art history and carries a great legacy forward. Dr. Bhattacharya is now also exploring the role of dance in stress therapy and inclusive training for differently abled children.
With a profound desire to share the fruits of his learning and vision with the world, Dr. Bhattacharya is building a legacy that is ingenious, inclusive, and inspiring. In this conversation, we explore what it means to be a man in a traditionally feminine art form, and how breaking stereotypes begins not only with rebellion but with rhythm.
Dr. Arkadev, welcome to the Human Weave. It's an honor to have someone as distinguished and exceptionally talented as you with us today.
Thank you. And I feel like this will be a great conversation, and I'm very excited to, talk with you.
We are feeling the same. We would love to start with knowing what drew you to dance and when did you realize it's more than just a hobby for you?
That's way back to 1987 when I got to see a dance ballet presented and choreographed by Mamata Shankar, who is the daughter of India's one of the legendary dance maestro, Pandit Udarshan. So there, Mr. Chandrodaya Ghosh, who happens to be the husband of uh, Srimati Mamata Shankar, he had a speech, general addressing to the audience. He said that the boys dance well, and sometimes they do it even better than the women. So that was kind of a thing. Oh, really? I mean, I didn't know that. So let me try. So I came back and I told my parents that I would like to learn that. They were neither agreed or disagreed. They thought like, it's just like, it's kind of a whims. So let him start. And my parents were quite assured that, in long run, it will not be there. Because when I was very young, I was a bit whimsical. I mean, there was no consistency in my learning and art, music, and finally dance.
How old were you back then when you saw this
I
performance?
think I was 14 years old, and then my parents put me to Ananda Shankar and Tanushree Shankar's school. So during that time, the name of the institute was PILE, and that was the batch where altogether 60 boys took admission in that batch. I think that's a record number of boys started learning in that year.
What about others, Akdevji? What about people around you? Was it easy to accept that you were choosing dance?
Initially, I was not that focused to build up a career. I was not very much sure that I'll become a dancer and dance will be my profession and I'll only dance, I'll not do anything else. So I was into school and my father was a professor in physics. So, and my family life, most of my family members are highly educated. So there was a kind of a pressure, untold pressure, you can say, that you have to be academically very sound and very knowledgeable. So I did not know actually one can pursue this study with dance and can be an educator as well, along with the performer. So slowly, it started unfolding, revealing to me, and slowly I switched to dance. And acceptance, like initially, yeah, people like in the society, in our area, people used to kind of mock on because a boy is going to the dance school and learning Indian dance. So it's only the girls who go there and dance. So I brought up in a kind of a family who usually don't, get along with this kind of people. And I was very reserved kind of a person from the very early stage of my life. I was not very extrovert or street smart. I always used to believe like do whatever you wish to and the way you feel happy about it. So I continued. I really did not pay much attention to what others are talking about.
So, me and Yash both have a bit of a background with Bharatanatyam. We both have learned
Right.
Bharatanatyam, and while we were discussing, this topic came up. Like, even when I was learning, I don't remember having a batchmate who was a boy. And she was saying how in certain dance forms, the girls were made to become boys because they needed a boy in the dance. And yeah, we were talking about this. Do you think the teachers who were teaching must have definitely had that acceptance, right? Towards a male dancer coming to learn.
Frankly speaking, the teaching technique is different for the girls and the boys. And I believe a teacher must be very much aware about while teaching a boy and a girl because there is a slight difference when you are teaching a girl and a boy. So when a girl is dancing, there are certain way of using your eyes which make your dance more with shringar. It is soft, like Shiva and Parvati, if you say. So, how would you like to see Parvati with grace, where there is a softness, and there is everything has communicating with love and all. But when you see Shiva dance, Shiva cannot dance like Parvati, and people won't enjoy them the dance of it. So, Shiva has to have the valor, the gammas, the boldness. So there are differences. So if the teachers are aware about that, so then they teach differently. And then you don't see a man dancing like a woman or a woman is dancing too bold. So if the teacher is good and very knowledgeable, so I believe like God's grace, I'm very fortunate that all the teachers, all my gurus I have got into my life, they all were very much aware about like how to train a male dancer and how to train a female dancer. So I'm very fortunate in that way, and I started my training under Chemistry Shankar. So and there it was very much clear with all of us. So how the steps should be performed by the male members of the school, and how the same steps will be performed by the female member of the institution. Later on, also when I started learning Bharatanatyam, I got the same lines of guidance, and very much later I came to know when I started studying that Srimati Rukmini Devi and Pandita Uday Shankar both got inspired and influenced by Anna Pavlova, who's the Russian ballerina. and they reformed Indian dance and Bharatanatyam as well with that influence, what they had seen and experienced with the ballerina, Russian ballerina Anna Botova. So they brought the similar kind of changes and dance, which has to be presented on proscenium, on stage, because before that dance is to be performed only at the arena of the temple, a temple choir, or to the court, or to an open area where the people get gathered, and mostly in the daylight. And the musicians used to move to and fro. They did not have the acoustics, so presentation. Faced certain changes to be performed on stage, and those are the changes mainly brought or introduced at the same time by Pandit Uday Shankarji as well as Srimati Rukmini Devi Arya. So there are a lot of changes made because the way you perform in an open area, you cannot perform on a stage because the focus is you, the light is on you, especially as a solo dancer. And especially for the group performances, yes, of course, you have to have certain body lines, and there is so-called profile and how you must stand on the stage, how you must look to your spectators, to your audience. So these are all the very important factors to keep in mind when dancing on stage. So we teach dance, the nuances of the dance, truly, most of us, most of the teachers. But knowing these areas are very important as I have experienced during my time of training while I was receiving the training, and I feel it is very fruitful to train the students in the same way. Even when I go and conduct workshops, I also keep correcting them, helping them to understand that what is the body line, body profile, how um, uh, which are the angles the spectators are seated, and how you must reciprocate with the audience. It's very important to build up a connectivity while you are performing.
Yeah. And what I understand from what you just said is also when a boy is wanting to get into dance, learning dance, it's an important question to ask the teacher if they are trained to teach both men and women, right? It's an important
Uh,
question to ask.
it's very important to ask, but as we, receive more training and as we know more about the dance, then only this question arises. Because these days, the mostly what I face, the parents are very concerned about the child's performance, not about the child is receiving, the training has been received. Because you see, now what is happening, it is more important for the child to go and perform on stage or on a television channel rather than, training the body for a little longer, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. So you really have your body language ready to perform. And once you are quite familiar with what is the body language, how to use your body, because the body is a canvas, the stage is the canvas, and the body is the paintbrush. So if you don't know how to stroke your paintbrush on an empty canvas, so your strokes can be messy.
That's a beautiful metaphor, using body as paintbrush. That also
Yeah.
reminds me of using body as a mode of expression.
The face is the canvas actually, what we can communicate. We can break the barriers of language, like, a dancer, two dancers that are from two part of the different part of the world can easily communicate with the hand gestures and with the eyes and with the facial expressions if they're trained in Indian classical dance. Because the Indian classical dance has this kind of the language which is you learn actually to communicate, because everything you learn with your hands and your this angika abhinaya, which is very important, and that is only present in Indian classical dance, that which is not present in any other forms of classical dance, angika abhinaya and the satvika abhinaya, because most of the dance have the aharya and the vachika abhinaya, Aharya is the costumes and Vachika is the music or the song. And to a certain extent, the Angika Vinaya is there, but there is no Satvika Vinaya. The Bhava and the Rasa is not present in any other form of dance all over. It is only present in Indian classical dance forms.
So there is this stereotype, right, that women are more emotional and expressive in that case and not men generally. So how do you see the moments that you have witnessed where dance has allowed you to express parts of yourself through
We
dance?
all have emotions. Not a single human being is alive without emotions. So people cannot be emotionless. Boys, from the day one, we keep telling, boys don't cry, boys don't cry. So the boys are taught to hide their emotional breakdown. Where the girls are allowed in the same family, if there are siblings, one boy and one girl, the boy is always brought up like you have to earn and you have to support the family. Where the girl is brought up, still major family, the girl is brought up to learn more the household chores. So that's a basic difference. The boys are never asked to do the household chores, and the girls are never, not in all families. Yeah, there are families, but those are the minority, or rather, we cannot count or generalize what is exceptions. So the girls are meant to be learn the cooking, cleaning, arranging the rooms. That is what Indian society is. We talk about the equality. If you want to see the equality, please go to European schools, how they are taught. The whole education system is very, very different from ours education because I find our Indian education system is very empty. I mean, it's only giving you the degree, but as a whole, you are not ready to face the struggles for life and the ups and downs of the life. So you are not trained mentally. You are not strong. Maybe you are very heavyweight with your degrees and your educations and your achievements, but mentally, I don't see the schools and the family groom a child, irrespective of the gender, to become very strong, mentally very strong. What the dance and music, if you continue, have to be very strong because the path is not very easy. You cannot get success so soon, and if you get also, then it is not so easy to retain success for you. Academically, you can be successful with your achievements and with your degrees, and you can bag a very good job. But if you are a musician, you are a dancer, you are a singer, it's not so easy. If you achieve success, that's not easy. That by chance, if you have, then it is more difficult to remain with the success.
It's interesting how, if you look at history, art was something that was meant to express, and it was not valued in terms of money you make or money you have, and how it became a profession, and then being successful at something was weighed with how much you earn. How has that impacted men in dance?
Yeah, that is the main thing which I would like to highlight. Indian government is giving scholarships to pursue the training below 14, above 18, and then there is JRF, then there is SRF, Senior Research Fellowship, and there are schemes out there. But mostly, in the West Bengal, since I think in West Bengal, I think we have got maximum number of dance schools. I mean, it's huge number of dance schools. Like every part of the city, forget about the districts. I'm talking like every part of the city. There are a number of dance schools, but students are not focused on that. So what they do is they concentrate more how soon they can be brought to the stage on the performance, not preparing them for the life, not making them knowledgeable with the subject. So that is a major difference. The schools in Chennai, the schools in Delhi, Hyderabad, Mumbai, there are schools where there are renowned Indian classical dancers. And so those we get to see in nationally and internationally. Why the students explore and get national recognitions and international platform under certain teachers, and under certain teachers they are only performing to a certain age, and after that there is an excuse like too much of pressure for the studies and tuitions and all, so just give it up. So taking it up is easy and giving it up is also easy, and there is no regret. The regret comes only once you are settled in life and you find there is no such true peace within yourself when you are achieving so much, earning so much, because there is nothing left for you, because you are made for others. Whatever you are doing for others, nothing is left for you. If you are a dancer, if you are a musician, if you are a singer, if you are a painter, what you do is for yourself, your satisfaction, your happiness.
That's such a powerful statement, as well as, if you look at life, it is there not just in the field of art, everywhere, right? Like whatever profession we choose, there is an end goal in mind. You are not really kind of absorbing the knowledge for the sake of, what it does to you, but the fact that in the future it's going to give you this reward in the form of money, status, lifestyle, and all those things, right? And somewhere the authenticity of who you are is lost in that.
Very true. And the success come much later, I think, when you really can earn and live a life. You have to go through lots of ups and downs, number of failures, number of politics, I must say dirty politics, and there will be a number of threshold where you will be thrown out being most eligible, and you will get to see the most non-eligible person get something. So it's there. I mean, just like the other areas, like the corporates and everywhere, how to just make a lobby. And it's sad that the performing arts also, the people are not valuing the talent, the knowledge, and everything. My students, number of students got national scholarships, and they have put up the Arkadev. I attended the seminars like Shantiniketan, Vishwabharati University, and other couple of universities in our countries. And also, I have joined the UNESCO camp in Germany in 4. And then after that, I believe in 2013, I have been fortunate to uh, give a workshop at Cambridge University. And despite of that, I was shown the door with so much of God's blessings and Guru's blessings, I must say. So that time I felt bad, but then I did my counseling. I said, you cannot stop somebody who has got sharp blades. That is there. So you have to cut and you have to go. You have to cut the stones continuously to make your wheels. So you have to. Your blades should be very sharp to cut the stones every time you get an obstacles in your path. There's no stones can stop you. Actually.
When you're saying about dance just not as a profession, let alone be profession, but more of self-expression. You work in the well-being space as well with movement and body movement therapy. People find it a way to release their emotional suppressions, right? Do you think has it helped many people, especially men, to come out of the suppressions that they have because of the stereotype of men not really crying? In any other form of expressions.
I told that male are not really very open to come out and join this kind of stress distressing workshops. So they think like, what do we do? It's a dance movement. What I can do? It's dance. What is my role? But they don't realize until and unless they join the kind of workshops which I deliver. That what is the benefit after joining? It is not that you are going to dance like Shiva, or you are going to dance like Pandit Biju Maharaj, you are going to dance like Guru Keluchar Mahapatra or to like Yamini Krishnamurti or somebody like that. No, it's not that. It's a movement which you are continuously doing throughout the day. You are walking. You are actually stepping so many numbers of steps throughout the day. So that is what, their movements are part of us. Without the movement, how do we move from one place to another? The same thing. There are certain things what we do together. And when we are doing together, we are generating a positive vibes, the happy hormones. So when the happy hormones start secreting, you can heal your stress or depression, and that lasts 7 to 10 days until and unless you face a severe situation where your self ego is crushed. And now, until and unless we actually able to erase this men and women and we come to the human beings, it's so difficult, so difficult. We continuously are branding us, I am a man and you are a woman, but we are forgetting we both have got a heart and it beats the same way. We both have the brains which think in the same way. So the power is the same. Only we are brought up with different set of psychologies, and so we express ourselves in different ways. But that doesn't mean that we continuously discriminate and see where it is going. Every time it's difficult for men to come out and express and talk about themselves. And mostly we learn so many things, but nobody teaches us how to talk. We learn to talk at the age of 1, but how to talk, most of us won't even learn if we are living this experience. Because how to talk is very important. How to take care of others, their respect, and keep your self-respect up while you are talking to somebody. So that's an art too. So we don't get to know how to talk. Most of us, we talk to keep our self egos on the higher side. And we are very happy when we can let down something. But no, that's not the rule. If you really talk to somebody with concern and you show that you care, that helps that person to rectify much, much more positively than when you criticize and let down the person's feelings which are crushed under the will. I mean, it's difficult.
When we put people into the gender boxes, I think we take away somewhere the freedom to be ourselves.
Exactly so. Because the first thing is like, I am a man, and the women think we are no less, we are women, so what? So this ego is continuously, then we become friends and then we forget. But until and unless we become friends, this is a continuous, the kind of pushing ourselves against each other, which is not good. Let us consider that we all are human beings. The way you get hurt, I do also get hurt in the same way. If I am talking with you without giving you the respect, you feel bad, so as I. So once we realize that we're talking with somebody with grace and with the kind of way we should, so the other person feels very important. That makes a lot of difference. Yeah, you will find a lot of people are ungrateful. You help them to grow, you help them to rectify, and after that they don't even like you will find there, if you have helped 100 people, you must know that 95 people will not remember and they will turn ungrateful. That's okay. You did your job. You never cared what how many people are ungrateful. You did your job. If you can do that, then yes, you yourself at least happy.
So when we actually start the journey of doing anything that our heart desires truly, right? I think we are aligned somewhere with the thought, what we want to do. We are excited about the process of learning. But it does take a emotional toll when you have to break stereotypes. It feels like it's you against the world. And it can be intense in a way. You also work in the mental well being space. Have you witnessed or experienced the impact this pressure can have on male dancers? Could you share some story from your
Uh,
experience?
I will not pick up any particular stories because I know there are number of stories because there are number of men who feel that inside they are a woman, not a man. So, and then because of that, they feel very ashamed because it starts exactly at the home. The parents point out, then the close relatives, they tease the boy if they feel there is a woman inside. So, if you think in a way that how ridiculous that a boy is feeling that there is a woman inside and everyone is, mocking, taunting, teasing. So what are you teasing, taunting for? Just because the boy feels there is a woman inside and the woman is caged into a male body? Is that a crime? That's how the boy actually organized his genes and chromosomes? Is the biological factor is been manufactured by that particular person? No, which nobody understands. Right. So the boy is treated wrongly, and slowly the boy gets inside a shell, doesn't want to come out, doesn't want to express, and the boy has faced the members in the family. They use the boy and they abuse the boy sexually, and they actually make the boy as a slave, which only in case of a woman, a girl, which come out that nobody in the family give importance if the boy is sexually abused. So the boy has nobody to confront. The boy suppressed. All children should be protected. Not only a girl. All children below 18 should be protected. They should be provided a very happy atmosphere to grow, a healthy, a positive ambience, family to grow where somebody is keeping an eye on the child's behavior, which is very important. If you only notice the changes of the behavior in a girl and not a boy, because you think that what can happen with a boy, then you need to change your thought process. So the damage is done before 18, at the age of 11, 12, even less than that. And the boy grows with that, the kind of uh, guilt, nasty feelings, the dejection, God knows what all the boy goes through. And slowly the boy, the accept. So this has to happen with me because nobody listens. Nobody is there to listen to me. Nobody is there to, to, hug me with the arms and protect me from the people, those who are there in the family. So where is the concern? The society has to be educated. If I give you one example, I used to live in another society where there is, a gentleman who is almost like my father. So he always used to call the rickshaw pullers in Bengali. Tui is the very, the kind of belittling something. Saying tui is very, not giving enough respect. And he happily used to. And I never liked it. Personally, never liked it. But nobody told me that you must not address the people by their profession, by their job, that you must respect the age. If you are talking somebody who's older than you as to me or apni, then that should be applicable for all, not for a specific profession. If the person has money or the place in the society, then they deserve. There we are lacking the humanity. Everyone deserves respect, whether he or she is younger to you or older to you. We tend to forget the people who are younger to me. We need to talk to them with respect.
So, age, gender, everything becomes these boxes that we put people into and treat them differently according to what we have been taught in a particular culture. Which also brings me to the fact that even in the West, especially during the Victorian era, dance like ballet became to be seen more as feminine, right? Even though it began with male dancers traditionally. Do you think it's the society also that kind of very slowly processes certain things and changes those norms and puts new things into boxes to form what is feminine, what is masculine? And that shift has also flowed into Indian classical dance because it wasn't the same in ancient culture.
I would like to place a question to the society. How we educate the society? Do we educate the society with our talk? We educate the society what television nowadays, the social media, the reels and the advertisements are coming on. We educate ourselves through that. If we see Salman Khan is walking down with the shirt open, so think every boys can open. So the boys go to the gym, build up the muscles, remove the shirts and give the picture. But in reality, Salman Khan in front of the camera, he does. See, there is one thing is a real life and one is a real life. One has to understand. If you are not educated, then you get carried away what you see. And if the media, if they understand that this area has to be highlighted, then the dancers get mileage. In Kolkata, if I ask you to say 10 male singers, you can name them. If I ask you to take the name of 10 male music composers, you can name them. If I ask you to take 10 male actors, you can name them. If I ask you to take name of 10 male poets, you can name them. But if I ask you to take name of 10 male dancers, you can't. Whose fault is it? Society. Because society is not exposed. Who is giving the exposure? It is the television, it is the social media, it is the print media, it is all this digital marketing and everything. How much we are giving importance that this has to be. And there are a number of male dancers who have become the pride of our nation. We don't know about it. So my request will be educate those people, those who are running the news portals, news profiles, and those who are creating the ads, the reels, educate them to reach to the mass. General people will not change their mindset until and unless it is continuously hammered. Who's going to hammer them? It is their responsibility. You go and ask to cover they will give you a huge amount for being an associated partner. But why? You are not charging somebody who is an actor. Who has made them popular? Who has given them the limelight? You. Now you are only ignoring to giving us the limelight. So what is the point? Why the dancers will not get the limelight from the media? That's my question. To give space to the dancers. The society's acceptance can be changed through the media.
And this is such an important conversation that you're bringing up right now. It is again, even within the stereotype, there is a stereotype that is preferring, even if it's a male dancer, if he's a celebrity, then there is more acceptance. I remember as a child in Malayalam film industry, there's this actor called Vineet, and we saw him first as an actor, and after a few movies he had got a role where he portrayed a dancer, and he is a trained Bharatanatyam dancer. And I remember this as a child. I felt, wow, I've never seen a man do a classical dance and it looked so beautiful. But I also feel that's because that is not the first image I saw of him. I had already accepted him as an actor and then seen him as this very well trained dancer, because it just was so graceful. And to actually say a stereotype, it was a very manly way of dancing, the way he carried himself. I really found him very attractive.
I give you another example of Kamal Hassan, you must have remembered. I mean, what a kind of magnificent dancer he was.
Beautiful.
And later on, Prabhu Deva, who happens to be a very well trained Bharatanatyam dancer, later on he has switched to contemporary. So there are a number of people, it's only if they come to film and they become a star. Otherwise, being a dancer, they cannot become a star. Why this discrimination? I would like to ask all the leading newspapers, the directors, the CEOs. That's why are you ignoring the artists of your country who are actually upholding the 2,500 years of cultural history? You can talk about nonsense about the actors and actresses and whose dress dropped off, whose pants dropped off, whose shirt was open, who had done a nasty scene, who has posted a nasty picture. I mean, just to go viral. But there are people who are honestly practicing for years, and that's Indian heritage, culture. All the gossips are given importance. Who's having multiple relationships with other human? I mean, that's their own business. So the person can fall for a number of people. It is nothing to do with his profession. Personal life and professional life are two different things, but they are more into the personal life rather than to the professional growth. There I feel shame, like a society is known by its movement.
Also feel it's like a cycle, right? Like what we were saying, like if somebody is just coming who is not famous, he or she is coming and portraying their talent, nobody wants to see it. But probably popularity is also gaining that importance because everybody wants to be seen in the end, for whoever they are, whoever, however they want to express them.
So we have to understand the strength. They can hit the mind of the society, and what they are hitting is important for the society's growth. Now, if they are hitting that this is what you must come and watch, so people are going and watch that.
Arko, I am curious here. Of course, media is one place which can affect a mass audience, and if it can change its way, mend its way, it could become a very strong support system. But what kind of other support systems do you think are essential to prevent crisis among artists, male dancers today?
Let me talk about the 5 areas which can really help the Indian dancers. I must say the Indian dancers without generalizing the gender. Survive with respect. One, create job opportunities. Two, the business people, those who are sponsoring events for actors, actresses, let them come forward to hold the hands for the Indian dance. Third, whenever we are having a debate in the news channels, everywhere, let there be a dancer to speak. Some dancers do speak well. There are good orators. Fourth, wear your confidence. Do not lose your confidence being an Indian dancer. You are no less than others. Never ever feel that you are little than others. Fifth, you have to move forward and chase the society. Why? You have to raise your voice than be submissive. You have to come out from your only community and to move around and chase the general people and ask why. What's wrong if I am a dancer? What's wrong if I practice dance? What is wrong? And for the society, for the parents and all, please look for lasting, not for the moment. Because maybe 1 year your child gets an exposure in media, in stage, in television channel. That doesn't help you to last. If you want your child to become a dancer, an artist, please look for trainer who is capable to train your child according to his or her ability. All of us are not equally capable. We all are different. Try to accept.
It's just not about the media, also, right? It is also about the families.
And the personality. And the
Yeah.
personality. It's very important. How I feel being a dancer. That's very important. My family will fall second once I am 30. Please remember, it is important till I'm 25, but once I'm 30, it is important how I feel. It is less important how my family feels. If I don't feel confident, if I don't move forward, if I am not a strong person and with a strong personality, then only the family matters.
People are happy to go sit in a performance and watch somebody else dance, but if their own kids are wanting to get into the profession of dance, nobody wants it. There's this contrary that happens.
Yeah, that is what I said. That so not only the society alone can be educated. Actually, the factors which are actually educating the society, they are equally responsible to uphold the glory of Indian dancers, whether it's a female and male. Yes, male dancers are finding it more difficult because end of the day they are the earners, the bread and butter, support the family till the day there is a no man got married earning nothing, whether the woman is earning. You know, you will not find a woman is marrying a man who doesn't earn anything and the woman is earning six figures. So there is a big blockage in the society. Once that change is come, then the male dancers will find a soul partner who will earn and look after the family, and the male dancer can pursue their passion without even thinking that what will be cooked tomorrow.
For this, when especially the fifth point that you said, you to be own your own self, right? For that, it is important that we normalize mental health conversations, because
Yes,
if you are mentally down is when you are
yes.
not able to stand up and voice yourself clearly.
True, very true.
How do we encourage, like you've been your through your own journey of mental health, and what would you have to say to all these aspiring dancers or people who are already part of this system? How do they voice themselves? How do they start working on themselves?
They have to come out from their comfort zone. That would be my first humble suggestion. Because most of the male dancers are always surrounded within their comfortable community. If they do not come out and they do not mix up with the people in other professions, their vocabulary will not become strong. They will be speaking in only one language. Did marketing management, so I got the exposure into the corporate. That has given me the kind of uh, confidence to speak. Then I worked with various sectors, and I got opportunities to work with various personalities from different fields, and I have got different friends from different fields, rather, with a lawyer, counselor, doctor, police, news reporter, business people. So I have got friends and I'm connected with them. So maybe that's how I was always supported by my friends and the people who are surrounded with me. That has helped me because I have never stopped myself being within the community who are dancers. I have walked around and I spoke to many people and I listened to them. I tried to understand why, how you can earn respect from them. I'm fortunate that I have worked I had been able to reach to some of the living legends of our country, and I've seen how they, reciprocate with the general people, with others, that they are humble, they're always polite, but at the same time, they're very strong while they are giving the message. But they're very humble, very polite, and they know where to stop. They know how to control temper. They know how to, deliver or put across your thoughts without getting agitated. So everywhere there has to be an aesthetic, a beauty. You may not be beautiful externally, but you can be beautiful internally. So you have to have a beautiful soul. So the people who come and talk to you, they feel happy and feel positive. That is the main thing. If I'm talking with lots of egos and I am not understanding why you are behaving in a wrong way, not acceptable by me, please remember. We treat others according to our acceptance.
I'm just connecting what you were saying before also, right? Like, it's not about going on a stage and performing, but that training that builds you to become who you are. I can relate it to what we just discussed, what you shared right now, that, even for having that clarity of mind and the clarity of voice, you need that. You need that. In Hindi, you say ठहराव,
Exactly.
a stability within yourself to bring yourself to that place, and that is work also. So if you're really, if a art form, a dance makes you complete in a way, I think you need to first believe in it and process it in a way that you can stand, like you're saying, like, voice yourself through that space. We were thinking about, there are musicians like Rishabh Ram Sharma who are intentionally aligning their music, their art with mental health awareness, right? As someone who's working at the intersection, and you shared how marketing also becomes important in today's world, right? Uh, somebody who, as someone who is working at the intersection of dance and healing, do you feel classical dance can bring that collaboration, with their art form and mental wellness?
I wish I could, show you certain dance videos, which actually does a magic. Once you start watching those dance performances, you leave all your thoughts behind and you get a part of that performance. So when you see that those spectacular performance, then you forget who you are. You become the part of the performance. So that's the power of the performance. And that is the key of healing you and we all. In the rest of the situation, you're only part of that situation. So that is the power of a good performance. And once you watch a very good performance, it heals your mind like a very good movie, which leaves you thinking about what the movie has given you a message. Similar, a very good performance give you that much of, food to your thought to think differently. So that's how the healing starts. So just not a performance, the performance has to have a total package. The costumes, the choreography, the light, and the whole ambience and every way, it has to be a spectacular so that you don't bother to see or pay attention to anywhere else but to the performance. So that is what is focusing your mind and releasing other thoughts. That is what is the mental healing, the first stage. So when you watch a very good performance, you stop thinking what is bothering you the whole day. That's the
Yeah.
magic of it. So that's how it should be. So create a kind of a dance performance, whether it is Indian or whether it is a Western, whether it is a contemporary, give it the aesthetic, meaning, beauty, message, mesmerize the audience, spellbound, and then see how audience are leaving the auditorium. See, they will not talk for a few minutes, they will stop talking. So that is the power of a good dance performance. It is as good as a good music or a very good movie. So one has to know that. So then only you feel the magical power of a very good dance performance.
I mean, when you were talking about this, so many images of great performances I've seen through my life came alive in front of me, so I can relate so strongly
God,
to
all
this.
God's grace that I could help you to, uh, go back to those your memories, golden memories.
Yeah, beautiful.
I was also recalling my own experience of learning it and not continuing it and wanting to restart again, hopefully soon in the future.
Apart from this, coming away, you can join my class.
Yes, definitely. I was thinking about it yesterday when I was reading
Yes.
about you a little
I
bit.
have got four centers across Kolkata, so you can, and I have got the facility for online classes, and I would love like for the people, for the women and men, those who are really wanted sometime that they just would not continue or make it a part of their life. I think they should come back. They should be coming back as no age or starting as no age. I think we just start once again. Forget what people are going to think about you. Forget for one day in a week that what the people will talk about your passion. But live with your happiness. Live with your own soulful joy.
And even through the reel culture, we do see, sometimes more elderly people coming back and making reels about their dance, and looks so beautiful, graceful, at that age. Maybe they are in their 60s, 70s, and then coming back to dance and being able to showcase, because now social media gives us that opportunity. And if we are able to use these mediums more and more for more such positive spaces, right?
And I think, that even the corporates where the employees are under tremendous pressure, they should arrange this kind of workshops once a month or once in 2 months. Let them go under the nature's nest and enjoy the nature and move around with the music and move together, step together, sway together, swing together, and enjoy. Find yourself, find your childhood memories. Find there is a child inside you and the child wants to jump, dance, move. Hurry, bring that child out for once where the 30, 40 early matters. We all have the child inside, and that's why maybe the dancers don't get old because they spend time, quality time with the children. The children come to learn to them. So while dealing with the 3 years, 4 years, what all the expressions and beautiful talk they have, that's refreshing.
It brought back a memory. A couple of years back, I was in a particular place in Kerala where I went with my children to watch a Kathakali performance, and it was more a touristy performance than a proper performance. But the highlight was how they interacted with the audience, right? Like at some point, they picked up people from the audience through the dance, right? Like while the Kathakali performance is going on, they picked up people, and I was one of the persons who was asked to come on stage. And it was almost like making a fool of yourself because you couldn't perform the way the actual dancer is performing. But it was such an experience. I think it brought my level of interest towards Kathakali much more, so I found that a very beautiful way to actually make a layman see your world, come on stage, do next to me, and there are other people, everybody's laughing because of course we are not able to do like the performer is doing. But that experience in itself was so beautiful. It left a lasting impression.
So sometimes there are festivals where my students, those who cannot travel alone, they are accompanied by their parents. So recently we had such an opportunity where the parents had gone and the end of the day, we all were sitting and talking and then some are good and singing, they were singing. And in a way, one father so he was so happy with all these things where he could come out from all of his inhibitions. He started dancing. So this is what you have the power to help the people to forget what others are thinking exactly. You had that experience. You forget what they are doing, what they're thinking, but you enjoy that you are part of that, stage sharing with the people those who are knowledgeable. You tried, and that has gave you happiness. That's the most important thing. Happiness is so important in life. So do something which makes you happy rather than others. Once you are happy, you will be make others happy. It's important.
Yeah.
I recently had dance for my friend's wedding that I had to do, which was like probably 10, 12 years after where I left having Bharatanatyam as my practice. It brought me so much of memories. Until then, it was more of, okay, I've learned it, but let's see. kind of attitude towards it. But after I went back, I think I have gained more respect because I could see what I had, which I didn't cherish, and the period where I didn't really experience, and the period where I regained what it has got me to where I am right now.
Those are the secondary thoughts. The primary thought when you dance, immediately after you dance, you're very happy.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the primary feelings you had. That's the first thing happened in your mind. And the secondly, you looked around and you tried to find your positions in others' eyes. That came the second. First thing, you yourself were very happy, very content.
Yeah, I was totally happy that I felt little guilty about it that okay, I've lost so
Yeah.
much of time not continuing it.
But still, don't regret, but think that there was a day in your life where you could come back once again and you could feel happy by yourself. What you did, your actions made you happy. You never, had to depend on certain situation or certain people to feel happy. Usually we feel happy under certain circumstances, in a certain situation, for certain people. The dance is something where you don't need this. You yourself can make yourself happy.
Brings me to a very important question. Of course, we have talked about the importance of dealing with the struggles in this field, right? But I also want to highlight the joys that dance brings. As a person who has been in this field for 37 years, I would like you to tell us about joy in dance as a form of art.
Every time I dance, I feel happy. That's the first thing. When I don't dance, if I don't dance for 3 days, 4 days, I don't know what kind of feelings, awkward, uncanny, I feel unwell. That's the very regular thing in my life, a primary thing. And secondly, I tell you, since I'm working in a school as a school teacher, dance teacher at the Heritage School of Kolkata, I face lot of people with lot of different kind of their personality. With all due respect, I mostly find myself very different from them. I don't really feel that the whole day I need their company. I don't need anyone to be around with apart from dance and the students who can come and dance with me. So apart from that, nothing else I really much need of. So I am happy with me, my dance and my students. I don't need my colleagues, not anybody else who can actually make me happy. So me, my dance, my students, and my choreography and my practice. So I think I am with myself is more content than with others.
So, joy from within more than something external giving.
Have you ever, danced when there was a rain and the water logged? Have you
Absolutely.
seen the children? They go with the shoes and the socks on, and then they hop inside the waters. Have you ever
Yes.
seen them dancing? And have you seen the joys in their eyes? I used to encourage my son to go and, dance where there is water. So the other people must be thinking that what kind of a father is he? This time, this age will never come back. And these are certain things to must do. If they don't do it at that time, then when they grow up, they will be having lots of inhibitions. Look around how many people are watching, what as she said that I was feeling, but those are the secondary things. The primary thing is that you feel happy. So make yourself happy first thing. Dance, dance, and dance. Not for others, for yourself. Please dance. I've seen, I was fortunate to work as a choreographer with NILT. That's an organization by Government of India. Every year they work for the differently able dancers, musicians, and all. I was fortunate that I was invited to choreograph for them, and I was awestruck to see a group of dancers on wheelchairs, and I could not stop my tears rolling down my eyes. I cried with joy and with the kind of energy and the willpower. I was amazed, and I kudos to God and God's power in human.
It's more about experiencing even art through the experience of humanity, right? I wanted to ask you here, like you also do the Uday Shankar form of dance. Do you see Pandit Uday Shankar's influence in your work, not just stylistically, but ideologically in how he made it okay to break from form and expectation, right? Like how you were talking about dancing in the rain, which is not really a formal learned dance. It's just following rhythm. What would you say about that?
See, the teaching methodology in Uday Shankar style, as I have heard the stories more from my teacher Tanushree Shankar and the daughter of the legend Srimati Mamata Shankar. As I have heard the stories, that every single day, there used to be a new topic. The students was asked, what exactly you have seen coming to your way to the dance class and show it. That is called creativity, creative dance. Not adding something here, adding something there, adding part of Kathak, adding part of Bharatanatyam, adding some part of contemporary and making one dance. That is not creative, where you actually created something and you can relate a situation, an incident, a behavior. That is what is creativity. Not just, choreographing. That is what I have come to know from the legend's family members. That is how is the creativity. You have to generate, you have to create something which can tell you a story, describe a situation, describe an incident, describe a particular person, describe a feeling. That is what is the create. And the canvas and the paintbrush is your whole body, and the stage is there. So go and create and put up something and make it a meaningful presentation.
You've been deeply researching about the dance pieces. How does your work challenge these kind of stereotypes, especially about who classical dance is for?
See, there are two ways of looking at it. One, like you keep on thinking that what others are doing is my work's very different. What others are thinking is my thought is very different. Or you have to create your own signature style. Just- And to do that, you have to have years of experience in learning and performing and practicing. Then only you can create a signature style. Otherwise, it will be a mix of all styles. That is not a signature style. I give you a small example. If you sit for the television, in the reality show, if you see 10 performances one after another, you will hardly find anyone is strikingly, hooked into your mind. You'll find all different costumes, all different teams, different things are coming from the sky, bringing the props. That's it. But presentation wise, so that is what is, if you understand that you can talk about what you feel and how you feel, and you are capable enough to, voice your thoughts and voice your work, I think you are just an individual. Otherwise, you are just, it's a collaborative things that you have learned Bharatanatyam for a couple of years, you have learned Odissi for a couple of years, learned Kathak for a couple of years, so a little bit of Bharatanatyam, a little bit of Kathak, and a little bit of Odissi, and a little bit of this, that. So you put all the things and you create something which is not yours. People come and sit and watch, and they, if they come and sit from the mid of the show, they know whether this is Tanushri Shankar or this is Mamata Shankar or this is Astad Devo or this is Kumudini Lakia or this is Leela Samson or this is Madhavi Mudgal or this is Ratikanta Mahabhatra. So, they all have their signature style. You will never get confused when you are watching Rafikanta Mahapatra ji, and you will never get confused if you see Madhuri Mudgal. Both are presenting Odissi. And of course, recently, I just came from Malaysia yesterday. So I was watching Rabli Ibrahim. He is also an Odissi exponent of Bashri. You will never get confused. You know, the moment it's on stage, this is Ramliji's way of teaching. Even in Kolkata, if you see Guru Sharmila Bishwas, she has her own way, being an Odissi dancer. So all of these people have been able to create a signature style. So once you are deeply into it, you can immediately recognize this is Sharmila Bishwa. If you're watching Manipuri and you suddenly you see Priti Patil's choreography, you know that is Priti Patil, nobody else. So she had been able to create her own signature style. So you have to learn the base. You have to learn the particular art form thoroughly. You have to practice for years and you have to know it and you have to understand it as you write something and when somebody is reading your book, without looking at the book cover, the persons come to know this must be by this particular author because it's style of presentation. I am thinking like there used to be two leading Bengali music directors, who are nationally famed. One is R.D. Burman Saab, one is Sholil Chaudhary Saab. They both were legends, but if you don't know who has tuned the song, that you can identify if you have actually identified R.D. Burman Saab's style or Shalil Chaudhary ji's style.
So from what you just now said, I was just thinking that there are so many things we can learn. Like, one is to have our own form of dance, like a signature style. To before that, kind of have enough practice and training to know what could be our signature style, right? And then the third thing is about how fame comes to you or how popularity comes to you. But before that, it is about having joy within yourself, to actually enjoy the art form. And you, being one of the few male Bharatanatyam dancers in Bengal, and have become a mentor and a change maker in this field, when young dancers are looking at you, especially those who want to break norms, what do you want them to take away from today's conversation as a message?
These days dancers are more equipped with the support with the social media, the Facebook, the Instagram, and all. So what is different from our generation to this generation? The way we were actually, got the the kind of people came to know about us is our only way was stage performance. So we had to put up number of stage performances and then only people got to know about us. But these days, stage performances has become less important to get the popularity in that way. So the people are creating reels and that is getting reactions and they are the stars. But now we have to think, setting in a way, peacefully. Should we call them stars or those who really practice for hours and years after years to make every stage performance is a challenging one because you cannot have a cut. If you are not happy with your reels, you can redo. But stage performance doesn't give you that opportunity. And those who are, dedicated so much to create the magic in that stage performance and the practice hours and after hours, how do we look at it? Need to be those who are from our generation and the generation before us. Let us be a little compassionate. Let us be a little more understanding that their generation, the scenario is very different from our generation scenario. So there, first we all have to have an acceptance factor. We have to accept that our generation, those who groom for the stage performance mainly, we live with that belief. But slowly we are also, I'm also creating reels because if I need to survive, I have to accept what is the present. But it's not my thing is not only on reels. There are dances like they are very popular because they have got number of reels and the reels got very popular because they boosted it somehow. It got viral. We have to accept them first before we give them a suggestion. I understand this generation well? It's the biggest thing. From my perspective, which is 37 years old, please remember when we did not have laptop, did not have mobile phone, so we physically had to go to invite people to come and watch our performance. We belong to that age, that time frame. And this is 2025 where nobody has to go to invite people. They send a mail or send through WhatsApp because nowadays sending official invitation through WhatsApp is accepted. So the
Yeah.
life has become much easier. So first, this generation, how they think, how they see the world, how easygoing is life to understand it. And then only you can address, you can leave a suggestion. So I'm still learning to become a part of this generation. I'm learning from my students, I'm learning from my own son, I'm learning from the younger dancers because I kept myself open for learning. So I think everyone has the right to do the way they feel like to do. Better I concentrate the way I like to work and I like to enjoy and I like to keep myself happy. I believe that is the most important thing. Whatever you feel like to do, you should end your day being happy. That could be one suggestion acceptable and applicable to all generations.
Thank you, Dr. Arkadev, for this open and absolutely essential conversation on men and classical dance forms and the journeys of joy and struggle. It was exceptionally enlightening to unravel your wisdom and learn from your experiences on how, as society, we can encourage people to break these stereotypes and encourage more artists, importantly, men in classical dance forms, live their authentic lives and be accepted for who they are and how they want to show themselves through art. While dance is a human expression, societal norms have boxed it into gender roles. But across globe, artists like Dr. Arkadev Bhattacharya are dismantling these stereotypes, not only by dancing, but by mentoring, choreographing, and reshaping public perception.
Your journey reminds us that art is not just performance, it's resistance, it's healing, and most importantly, it's home. In sharing your story, you have not only brought light into the quiet burdens that male dancers often carry, but also sparked hope for a world where all identities can move freely without fear and shame. Thank you so much.
We often think of classical dance as a tradition, technique, or a legacy, but through voices like Arkadev's, we are reminded it's also rebellion, reclamation, and reimagination. It's about making space for emotions, for stories, for ourselves that society has once silenced.
As this conversation lingers with you, take a moment to pause and feel into what it stirred. We leave you with a few reflective questions to carry forward into your own life. Firstly, when did you first learn what it means to be a man or to be a woman? How has that story influenced your sense of self? Have you ever had to hide a part of your passion, creativity, or sensitivity because of social expectations? What did that do to you? What spaces in your life allow you to express yourself truthfully in body, mind, and spirit? Where might you create more of those spaces for others? How can we each challenge gender stereotypes in quite daily ways within our families, schools, and communities?
These reflections aren't a call to judgment, but an invitation to gentleness, to notice what you carry and what you might lay down. Because unlearning is a slow dance too, one step, one truth, and one breath at a time.
As we close today, remember breaking stereotypes isn't just about being bold, it's about being seen, it's about being yourself, and allowing others to be seen too. Because when one dancer breaks free, it opens the stage for everyone to move differently.
Thank you for tuning in to The Human Weave. Don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Let's keep weaving a world where expression is valid and every soul has a space to dance. Until then, it's goodbye from your hosts, Yash and Rosh. Stay connected and stay curious.